Alright guys, welcome back to Jerky's Backyard Shenanigans. So, I haven't really got a whole lot more progress done on the Bronco. Still waiting on some things to finish up that cross member. So, been kind of holding off on that because a lot of pieces do hinge on that. But, I have got the motor mostly assembled. Still have to assemble the valve train, put all the covers on it, as well as the intake, and prime it with oil and all that fun stuff. And it is a flat tappet cam, so I will have to break it in before too long, but went with the same copper metallic that I have on the suspension. Figured that would really break up the engine bay, but pretty much going same with the valve covers and the oil pan. I think it'll look pretty sweet. We're gonna go aluminum on all the aluminum pieces. That should have a pretty decent contrast, so pretty excited about this motor. This is the Mabico motor that I had that's bored 60 thousandths over. Again, best cost-effective nonsense. So yeah, pretty excited about this milestone, and I think she'll run pretty decent in the Bronco. I did take the heads off that parts truck motor. I went ahead and just rebuilt them. Did a real quick and easy port match. Just make sure all the gaskets line up with the ports. So, pretty excited about that. And definitely think when we finally get the training and all that stuff done, it's going to be hard not to rush the test drive. So for today, what we got planned is we're working on my 2022 Venom Ghost Chopper 2, or no, this ain't the Ghost. This is just the Retro Chopper 250, I think is what they call it. But this was the first motorcycle I bought off the internet, and pretty pleased with it. It's been a fun little starter bike. But it's got the original engine in it, the 223 5-speed overhead cam. The carb rejetted, nothing special there. Aftermarket intake. Built my own battery tray because I kept breaking the plastic ones. And then custom exhaust. We will be changing that today and putting a muffler, a spark arrestor in it. Right now this is just a straight pipe and it gets pretty droney on the trails. And another thing I have done on this is it's got a 4-inch swing arm stretch. So this swing arm is 4 inches longer than it was factory, and what I did was just take some plugs and then cut another piece, same size tube, welded all that together good and solid, did a rosette weld on each side of the plug, and then just welded some nuts and put some all thread in to make the brake lever extend, as well as my own brake lever from there with poorly welded all thread to make a brake pedal. But that's pretty much it as far as the back one goes, and as you can see I've got a ton of adjustment. I'll probably have to snip this down. And then we are running 3.0 18s, the Shinko Golden Boys. Definitely like the tire, it gives it that old school scrambler look, and we are running the same size front and rear. Seems to handle pretty decent. And then the seat is off of Amazon. Just quick, easy little $45 one, fit right on there. I think it was for like a CB 125. I think the tank as well is probably a similar one to like a CB 125. So it's kind of like a Honda clone, I guess. But this disc up front, drum in the rear. I have built my own skid plate for taking it off-road, and I have my pegs welded off the side of the skid plate. Seems to hold up pretty well. The first time I took this bike out, I didn't have a skid plate on it, and it had the kickstand as well as the foot pegs on a plate that bolted to the bottom of the motor, and I'm honestly surprised I didn't break the motor the first run with how low it sits. But it's a pretty decent little bike. Had it quite a while now, I guess, for me. And then it has been bombed through quite a few trails, but she's held up every time, and I've dropped it like about 4 or 5 times, but haven't broken anything major yet. So let's go ahead and figure this exhaust situation out. I didn't measure the tube size, so we'll see if that fits too, 'cause I'm a little unsure about that one. Alright, I think that should work. And let's see. Maybe if it went sideways, and the exhaust would come this way instead of that way. And if I mount it that way, I'm going to have to come up with a new mount. Yeah, I think we'll try that. Yeah, we're gonna have to come up with a new mount anyway. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So, I'm gonna mount it. Of course, it's going to be sitting down here, but essentially, something kind of like that. I think that'll miss my leg, and then I think this should kind of go there, and I don't think it'll overheat the shock. I think we'll see. But I mean, this little straight pipe setup was just a little much for this bike. It gets real high pitch, and this tip is actually off of a V6 Mustang header. Just lopped it off right at the manifold, and then right before it goes to the other ones, just lopped that right off, and it looked pretty cool. Kind of first attempt at like a little teardrop, didn't turn out great, but not bad. So we're just gonna eyeball the cut. It don't necessarily need to be perfect. That's awkward. smart thing to do. Or just rip the mount off, apparently. Oh, that was not very strong metal. We should find out. Shoot. Yeah, so that ain't the right size. Wonder what we can do here. I think that's magnetic metal. Shit. Alright guys, so I got the muffler mounted. Definitely was the wrong size hole. It was like a 28mm hole. I'm running about a 35mm exhaust pipe. So, and do some very ugly welds to get there to kind of half-ass seal. The muffler itself is made out of aluminum. The pipe I used is galvanized steel, so not the best idea, but it looks cool. And then just welded a tab off the frame right there. Hold the muffler clamp on there. I'll fire it up so you guys can hear it. Alright guys, fire it up and give you a little test sound.
I think it sounds pretty decent now. Was a little too loud, but now I'd say it's alright.